Coming up on this week's episode of The Clinch, with over 1 billion viewers worldwide, One Championship is changing the global landscape of MMA. We've highlights from Throne of Tigers in KL, and we speak to the CEO of One, Victor Qui, about his Phenom promotion. Fresh from his run in the UFC's The Ultimate Fighter, Nkazimulo Zulu tells us what it's like to be run over by a car just before your first title defense. And the Punisher, Martin van Staden, gives us his insights from his training camp at American Top Team in Miami and what he makes of his upcoming fight against the English gringo Christian Holly. So welcome to The Clinch. Asia's biggest and best MMA promotion, One Championship, returned to Stadium Negara in Kuala Lumpur at the weekend for Throne of Tigers, which boasted 3 TKOs, 3 submissions and 3 decisions. In the shadow of the tallest twin towers in the world, hometown hero Saiful Merakan looked in top form against Bern Soriano. Displaying a great kickboxing game that drew cheers from the crowd after each blow, the bantamweight put on a lot of power behind every shot that was just too much for the Filipino fighter. Certainly an illegal knee there that went unnoticed, followed by some sweet elbows. Soriano failed to answer the bell coming into the second round to hand Merakan the TKO victory. The Malaysian fans had even further reason to cheer when Kianu Subba met the undefeated Pakistani submission specialist Ahmed Mujtaba. In a surprising turn of events, the ironically named Subba dominated the ground game, sinking in a guillotine choke which he cranked to earn his 4th victory in the promotion. Stifling top game there. And yet the party continued for the home team when Agilantani negated the dangerous stand-up game of Jeff Huang from Taiwan to go 7-0 in his professional career. Now this guy lost 55 kilograms for the sake of his MMA career and continues to be One Championship's greatest welterweight prospect, only at the age of 21. With his consistent pressure, Thani finished it in the second round, softening up Huang with strikes, with both hooks in there, before sinking in the rear naked choke, leaving the man from Taipei with no choice but to tap or nap. Watch out for this kid, he is just dominating. Cracking performance. And in the main event, another Malaysian hero, Ev Ting, took on the highly dangerous veteran Kamal Shalarus at catchweight. In a cracking fight that mostly stayed on the feet, Ting's dynamic movement stuffed the Iranian's takedowns with some great range attacks and forward pressure. Shalarus was always in the fight though, but lost to the hometown hero by split decision. Ting, who trains out of Auckland MMA in New Zealand, now has 7 wins to just a single loss in 1, and surely deserves a crack at the lightweight world champion, Edward Folliang. And I can't wait to see my favourite female MMA star, Angela Lee, defend her atomweight title against Jenny Huang in Bangkok on my birthday, the 11th of March. Then One returns to the place of the mangrove tree on the 21st of April, and then back to the beautiful Marina Bay in Singapore on the 26th of May. Rest assured, we'll bring you all those highlights. Well, One Championship certainly goes from strength to strength, now broadcasting to 118 countries, the #1 sports media property in Asia with a 90% market share on the continent, and over 1 billion viewers around the globe. Joining me now is the CEO of One Championship, Victor Qui. Victor, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate your time. Those are some pretty impressive statistics, aren't they? How'd you do it? What's your secret?
Well, first of all, thank you for that phenomenal introduction. I feel like we should just end the interview right now because that's pretty well a high. That's great. No, you know, we have had spectacular growth over the last 5 years, and it's been an exciting time. But I can say that there's one singular reason for it, is that we have a phenomenal team here at One Championship. Every single person, from left to right, top to bottom, is the best at what they do, an outstanding team, and we couldn't do it without them.
Well, Warrior Kingdom in Bangkok takes place on the 11th of March, and I can't imagine a better way to spend my birthday than watching Angela Lee defend her atomweight title, and at the same time listen to live performances by Titanium and Slot Machine. It's all about entertainment, isn't it? That's what's working for you, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you know, you won't believe how difficult it was to reschedule everything, our entire 18-event calendar for the year around your birthday. That was, I mean,
Appreciate
we did that for you, so you're welcome, you know.
Thanks,
it's going to be a great day for you. But Definitely. That's what One Championship is about. We are about sport entertainment. This is about bringing the excitement, the atmosphere of Las Vegas into every single city that we go to. So that when you go into a city, the most beautiful people, the who's who, the celebrities, the local talent, everybody wants to be at a One Championship event. It's why when you come out to our events, we have a red carpet when you arrive, VIP experience when you leave the event. We have music integrated with the show, lights, firework. It's an all-inclusive, amazing night of action when you come to a One Championship event.
Is that a strategy that you tailor-made for the Asian market? And is it something that you think would work in the global market as well?
Well, I've lived in Asia now for actually a little over a decade, and one of the things that Asia does very well is it knows how to deliver great value for fans and ticket buyers for concerts or anything that you do. Now, in the world of sports, Asia is still lagging. We're a good decade behind, Europe and North America, at least in terms of the opportunities of the world of sports, because sports is still very young in Asia as an entertainment form. But generally, concert buyers or ticket buyers, when they go, they're spoiled for options in Asia. And you're talking about world-class quality shows that have everything from waterfalls on the stage to pyro. So they know what world-class entertainment is like. When One Championship brings an event, it has to deliver that standard of world-class entertainment, not just the best fights, not just the best athletes, but things that let people know that this is a great night where they're going to spend their Friday night with.
Victor, how integral was the 10-year broadcast deal with Fox Sports Asia in providing stability and that guaranteed viewership?
The Fox deal was a small piece of the equation, actually. Yes, it's great to have Fox and the partnership all throughout, and they're on cable across Asia, but we actually are on free-to-air, which is 100% penetration in every country, in almost every major country in our core territory that we're at. And on top of that, digital delivery, online platforms, mobile, etc. So when you go to Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, Philippines, you're talking about every single person in that country going to have access or has access to watching One Championship when we're on television. So the Fox deal was great, and it's a good partnership with us, but we've got much stronger free-to-air partners and that are delivering our content to a broader base in every single country.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see that fight between the lightweight world champion Edward Folleyang and Ev Ting, who had a great fight this last weekend. Of course, you used to be an executive at FSA when it was ESPN back in the day, so you know the landscape very well, Victor. What's your prediction for the growth of MMA on the Asian continent?
We are delivering content to our broadcasters and to our partners and sponsors all year long, 12 months of the year, every week of the entire year. And there's not another single sport in Asia that's able to do that. What that means is that's why we've got great partners like Disney, Marvel Comics. We launch every action movie for Disney and Marvel across Asia. Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers, Thor, Captain America, Iron Man. Because we are able to deliver a year-long reach and a year-long platform for all of our partners. Doesn't matter whether you're LG or Panasonic or Casio or Kawasaki or Facebook, as an example, we were the first sport property in Asia for Facebook to partner with. So the first thing is we are the only sport in Asia that's delivering that 12-month-a-year platform. The second thing is we are working diligently and maniacally at every level of our organization to create local heroes in every country that we go to.
Yeah, it's a great strategy. And talking about platforms, I really like the slick rehaul you've done of the website and your digital platform. Your live streaming, Victor, of events is only $10, which is about 133 Rand in this country. What was your OTT strategy in deciding that price point? It's a hell of a competitor for live streaming events, isn't it?
Yeah. And we again are just at the beginning of that. Thank you for the shout out on our new website. Our team has worked really hard to relaunch that, and there'll be more things to come on that. I think OTT and everything that we're delivering digitally is really about making sure that our content goes as far and wide as possible right now. We're seeing that our fan base want to consume our content all the time and regularly, and we want to make sure that we can continue to deliver that to them regardless of the device that they're using.
Well, we've just taken a look at the highlights from Throne of Tigers from last Friday in KL, an action-packed card from start to finish, but it's a limited market for live gate receipts, so surely your growth strategy has to involve metropolitan China far more seriously.
Sure, and well, that was the largest venue in KL, indoor venue that's suitable for us. And every city that we go to, we are going to the premium, largest venue, and we're breaking, stadium records in every city that we go to. We continue to look at what are the biggest venues to go to, but you have to remember at its core what One Championship is. We're a media company. We're about delivering world-class television content to our world-class broadcasters that we have all around the world. We've got fans that follow us in every city that we go to. And of course, those 10,000 or the 20,000 people that come to the stadium are important for the on-ground activation. But by and large, like I was saying earlier, our partners that work with us and our sponsors that work with us are because we're able to deliver a platform regionally and globally for them that they can engage on 12 months of the year.
So, Victor, what are your thoughts about African MMA? Because even though you were born in Canada, you grew up some of your life in Accra in Ghana, didn't you? What do you think of the scene out in Africa?
Well, it's true. That's why I was really looking forward to this call. I have some, it always tugs at my heart when we talk about Africa. I was born in Edmonton, and I lived in Africa until I was 13 years old or so. So I have a lot of friends there, and still a lot of friends in Accra, Ghana. And it would be a dream for me to hold a One Championship event in Africa. We closed a television deal with Star Times there, so we're slowly expanding our reach and our presence throughout the continent. I think that the African MMA scene is starting to grow, particularly in South Africa. You're seeing a lot of momentum there. We're continually looking for top athletes to join us. We get hit up every week from guys from all around the world, including Africa, that want to fight on a One Championship card. So our competition department will continue to look at opportunities there and see what's going to make sense.
So do you know if Matt Hume at all has considered any African fighters or South African fighters in particular?
Actually, he has. And we have a South African fighter that's been on our roster for a while, Vuyisile Kolosa.
Yeah.
And he's a former Muay Thai world champion, really talented fighter, and he'll be on our card soon.
So relating your background to the kind of market you deal in, and your family is from Cebu in the Philippines, but as we said, you were born in Canada. Is North America or even Europe ever on your expansion radar, or is it simply not worth your while since you're concentrating on the Asian market so much?
We're definitely focusing on the Asian market right now, and we get offers from all around the world to bring a One Championship event. Everything from Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan to Brazil and Europe and Russia, and all those things, we're exploring, and we'll continue to expand to them when they make sense over the next few months or next couple of years. Right now, of course, our focus is on Asia and making sure that we continue to grow out here in this region.
So, Victor, looking back over your time, what's been the most challenging point for you as the CEO of One Championship?
Well, I think every day is a challenge. There's always a new challenge. And if you are running a business and you finish the end of the day without solving a problem, either your business is dying or you're completely clueless of what's going on, So I would say that the majority of my time every day is spent fighting problems and solving problems, and I love that. That means that when you have problems, and that means people are challenging the status quo. It means people are innovating. People are trying to do something different, and the business is growing. I never want there to be a day where we don't have any problems and our business is stagnant.
Yeah, that's a great philosophy. You've achieved something very rare in establishing a globally respected and profitable MMA promotion, as well as flying high as an executive in the sports media industry. What else do you want to achieve, Victor? What are your next goals?
Well, we started One Championship with the philosophy of we believe in the power of martial arts to make this world a better place. And when you come to a One Championship event, you see everybody from all walks of life there, which I think is really amazing. In this time and age when, people are scared and there's terrorism and wars and all these kind of things going on, martial arts continues to unite people, and we do that around One Championship. You get high net worth people to students. It doesn't matter what religion you are, it doesn't matter what race you are, it doesn't matter what background you are, socioeconomic status, like I was saying earlier, you get everybody coming together to a One Championship event, and that makes for a really amazing night.
I think that's probably the best description of someone's passion for combat sportscasting I've ever heard. Victor Qui, CEO of One Championship, we really appreciate your time today and wish you all the best for 2017.
Great. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate your time.
Well, the fight card for EFC 57 is finally locked down. It's got some truly fascinating scraps throughout, but one of the standout bouts has to be fan favourite Martin van Staden, welcoming the Brit Christian Holly to the toughest lightweight division in Africa. Martin's with me here in studio. Martin, you've just come back from American top team, training with the likes of Hector Lombard, Henry Hooft, Rashad Evans. What was the experience like? Tell me first.
Experience was great. We went there, on a journey to see where we could stack up. The biggest thing I brought back from the trip was confidence. I think our guys stack up pretty well against those guys. I think guys have a lot of egos there, and I think they're entitled to where they are. I think South African guys work a lot harder, especially if you're from a gym that, puts in the hours, training minimum 4 hours a day. I think, we are right up there. We proved it now when we went over. So it was a big opener for us and a big confidence booster for us, yeah.
So did you go out there particularly with a fight camp preparation for Leon Mainhart, or was it just a wider performance focus?
No,
for you?
kind of. I was in camp. I started training in January already, and then Boyd and Chad and Richard planned this trip from December or November last year already. So we were sitting in conversation, and Monique actually, my fiance, suggested why don't I go with. I was like, well, I can't go with. I'm fighting in like 8 weeks or 6 weeks. Got my wedding coming up. So she's like, no, it's only a 2-week trip, go. So spoke to a few sponsors, guys contributed a bit, and then I went with. So last minute thing, I put everything together in like literally a week, and I had an American visa. So all the stars aligned and I was able to go.
What was your favourite bit? What was the highlight of the trip?
I got to spar with a lot of elite strikers and UFC athletes and grapple a few as well. So, and I came back with no scratches or bruises or being stuffed up.
You're 100%.
Yeah, some 100%. And
So apart from those names I mentioned, I saw you on the pads with Henry Hooft, and I saw you with Hector Lombard and Rashad Evans. Who else did you get to roll and spar with?
Well, I can't remember the guy's name, but I know he's 11-0 in the UFC now. He's a lightweight, a black guy. And then one of the guys is fighting now this weekend, actually.
In Halifax, yeah.
Yeah, he's welterweight, and he's 23-3. So yeah, look, we didn't get caught up too much in who was there and who was training. We just trained with the guys. A lot of the guys were very accommodating and nice, and some of them were very, offish and negative. When they saw we had a bit of skill and we could hang with them, you could see that they were a bit uneasy about South African guys coming there and could bang with them, in a sense, and could hang with them wherever the fight went or wherever the training went. And some guys don't like that and try and actually hurt you, but we're South African and we're tough.
Yeah, interesting. It must be a new experience for them as well, because I'm sure they don't come into contact with a lot of South African fighters.
No, not at all.
You're saying that you're pretty happy that there wasn't a wider skill set difference between these guys?
There was, to be honest, there was virtually no gap at all. Our striking is definitely on their level, if not better. If you look at a technical aspect, jiu-jitsu is right up there. Guys were rolling with black belts and tapping black belts, and hanging with the guys. I never felt out of depth once or in trouble. And Boyd and Chad and Rich also same thing.
How did they get on then, Boyd, Chad and Rich? They must have got a lot from it.
Well, look, Rich just rolled a lot. Rich is a high-level grappler, man. That guy should be competing because he's very good. And Boyd is, he's sneaky. He
sneaky
can
Boyd.
Pull off submissions from anywhere. And Chad is just athletic specimen, so hard to deal with. So he was giving guys a lot of problem with this athleticism.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did well, and Henry Hooft was very accommodating. We were actually at American top team for a week. The gym was amazing facility. A lot of UFC fighters, a lot of Bellator, ONE FC fighters. We ended up at Combat Club MMA, which is Henry's new gym, Henry Hooft.
So also in Miami?
Yeah, it's about 40-minute drive from Fort Lauderdale from Coconut Creek. And apparently what happened was Black Zillions had split up, what I understand, and Henry took some of the fighters, or some of the fighters went with him, like Rashad Evans, Michael Johnson, Anthony Rumble Johnson, like a lot of good UFC fighters and title contenders. And We went there, he was very accommodating, he held some pads for us, he was very impressed with us, and with our skill set. We sparred, he was very happy, and we've been in contact, so it was a good thing for us.
So you're saying that confidence was the main thing you took?
Yeah, well, for me it was confidence, you know. I just turned 34. You know, a lot of people think that getting towards the end of my career, which I've got still a lot of tread left on these tires, and just going there and hanging with these guys and you know, competing with them and giving them a hard time was a really great experience.
Well,
for
I
me.
expect nothing less, Martin. You've got 33 pro fights now at the age of 34. So I definitely think that talk about you, you know, hanging him up is way premature. No way. When did you find out then that Leon had withdrawn from the fight, and what were your immediate thoughts? You were in the States when you found out? Yeah,
I was in the States. Boyd actually told me, hey, listen, Leon's out. So I was like, no, man. Graham would have told me, so there was somebody released something and Boyd saw it. He sent me the link. Then Graham said, no, according to him, the fight's still on. So I said, okay, cool. Look, I said, whether the fight's on or not, I need a fight. Just, I don't, you know what I mean? I want to compete. I'm busy training. I don't train for nothing. Yeah. Find me a fight, even though if something is up, I'm ready. So I said, okay, cool. Then 2 days later, he said, look, it's not a rumor, it's true. Leon's not fighting, he needs more time. I said, okay, cool. Then he said he's got somebody for me from the UK. I said, sign me up, I don't care who it is. If it's a lightweight, let's fight. So then he said, Christian Holly. I said, well, 100%, let's make it happen.
Did you accept the fight before you found out anything about Christian Holly, or you looked at any of his previous fights or anything?
No, I just
accepted straight away?
Yeah, I accepted it straight away. I said to Rich, look, this is a guy I want me to fight. I've accepted the fight. Rich looked at some footage, he said, cool, it's done.
How did you view Leon's withdrawal? Did you see it as a sign of respect? If that makes sense to you.
Look, Leon is on a 3-fight losing streak. It's not a nice place to be. No disrespect to him. He's a great fighter. I think the fight with me is going to be a career. It's going to impact his career. You know, I think if he loses against me, it's a 4-fight losing streak. So him wanting more time, I think he maybe did the right thing. I don't know if he was training over December or January. If he wasn't, and he needed more time, you know, I respect that, because I was going to come ready and, you know, look to take him out.
You're still down to fight Leon in May, and I think it's the first time in history that an EFC athlete has his face on 2 fight cards simultaneously. Are you in a hurry to get somewhere? You're saying you're 34, but it seems like you're on a roll.
Look, I just want to fight. Last year I only fought twice, and the last fight happened last minute, you know. Yeah. Us as athletes can't be fighting twice or once a year. We need to be fighting minimum 4 times a year to make us like a decent income and make some money. We're not in this for charity. When I walk away from the sport in 4 years, I want to have money in the bank and go, I put my body on the line for X, Y, and Z. Yeah. So, yeah.
So we're going to see you for 4 more years, that's it? You're calling it quits at 38?
Well, we'll see. My goal was 37, and after I've been to the States now, 38 will be probably the new number, or 39. Let's see.
I see the way you're handling your weight cut with Rory and with taking stuff like drip drop, you're rehydrating really well. The cut to lightweight seems to be working out with you really well, isn't it? You're happy there? Yeah,
look, the last cut was a catch weight at 72. I was 83 when I got the call to move down to lightweight for that fight, well, to fight a lightweight, and I asked Graham if I can get a bit of leniency because it was 2.5 weeks out. And we made the cut to 72 quite comfortably, to be honest. Yeah. I think the extra 2 kilos now is going to be a little bit tougher, for sure. But I'm already ahead of schedule now. I've got 9 kilos to go, and I've got 2 full weeks. So it's going to be a struggle, but I'll make it, and I'll be comfortable.
Yeah, that was the Kaleka Kabanda fight, wasn't it? At the beginning of December, just 2 months ago, and you look in fantastic shape for it.
I felt great. I felt best I've ever felt in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
This is the best Martin van Staden we've seen yet?
I think this is the weight class it should have been long ago. I think ego is a nasty thing. You know, I always like to fight bigger guys. You know, it's like I beat up a bigger guy. If you look at earlier in my career, I fought Brian Thomas. He was 105. I fought Henk van Wyk, who was also like 100 plus, and I was only 86 kilos. So I should have made the drop long ago, because I'm not a big guy. Yeah. I've got to really eat like a lot, and like not even healthy. I have to eat like bad food to get my weight up over 84. Yeah. So, and you could see it in my fight with Drickus and with David. You could see I was soft. I wasn't like. If you look at them, they were lean and they were hard and they were vascular. Yeah. Where I'm looking like that now at lightweight. So that is the weight division where I need to be, and this is where I should have been, and I'm excited for this weight division.
So you come back with this new confidence. You've gone to a weight division that suits you more. I mean, you seem to be in the prime.
No, and
Honestly,
that's exactly the way I feel.
But you got 16 knockouts in your career, and as I said, 33 pro fights. What has FFM brought to your entire game since you've joined the guys at Sunning Hill?
You know, when I first got there, I was just a brawler. I just wanted to throw my right hand. I just wanted to...
Pretty good right hand, I'm going to be honest with you.
I just wanted to just throw down. But now, you know, Richie spent a lot of time with me, and it's taken 4 years for me to become an athlete. And I've got all-round skill set now. If you look at 90% of my losses have been submissions, and I've got 2 decision losses. So we've worked hard on my ground, and just my all-round skill set, and the brotherhood that we have at the gym is something special, and it's made a huge impact on my life.
So let's look at what other matchups are there at around 70 kilograms for you, because it's a fantastic division at lightweight. Some possible matchups: Dave Mazzani, Azzy Thomas, Igor Cabeza. I mean, who do you fancy facing in that division? And then also the case where your teammate Don Madge is fighting Dave Mazzani for his title in April in Cape Town, if I remember. And if Don beats Dave Mazzani, then he's going to hold you up, isn't he? What are your permutations of lightweight?
Look, when I made the decision to drop down to lightweight, it was never about the belts or being the champion lightweight, because I knew Don was in line for a title shot, and even more so, Boyd is before me as well. You know, he's on a good tier at the moment as well, and he can fight feather and he can fight lightweight. You know, this is an unpredictable sport we're in. You know, anything can happen. I've utmost confidence that Don will beat Dave Mazzani, and then maybe I can fight Dave Mazzani. There's a lot of matchups at lightweight, and I'm sure EFC can bring lightweights in for me, like Christian Holly. When I sat and spoke to Graham, I wanted to fight international guys. That was my goal. So I've already got 2 fights lined up, and it's not even halfway through the year. Maybe by the end of the year, there'll be another international guy that wants to come over and make name that I can stomp.
So you've got all of this. You've got 2 fights already booked, and yet you and Monique are tying the knot, aren't you? When's the, congratulations, by the way. When's the date?
Thank you. 22nd of April.
So when's your fight against Leon in Cape Town? That's also in April.
I think it's the 8th. No, it's in May. The fight against Leon's scheduled for May 9th.
So what kind of honeymoon are you going to have if you're cutting weight whilst you're doing your nuptials, mate?
I'm going to have to speak to Graham to get that fight moved to June in Durban. It's a bio maybe.
Okay.
Let's hope Leon. Like Leon needs more time, I just need to have my wedding. If we can come to an agreement, we can maybe fight June a month later.
I don't think that's too much to ask. No, I can't wait to see you on March the 4th. Martin, you're one of my favourite all-time greats, and I really appreciate you coming in. Good luck.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks, sir.
Thanks, mate. Well, life has been a roller coaster ride lately for one of the EFC's most popular and probably most well-known flyweights, Nkazimulo Zulu. After winning the 57-kilo division belt in Durban over a year and a half ago, he was selected to represent the continent on the UFC's reality TV show The Ultimate Fighter, where I thought he acquitted himself superbly in the way he fought and in the way he came across on camera. Returning to South Africa to defend his belt here in Johannesburg in March against JP Bass, he was cardio training on the road when he was run down by a car. He joins me now. And Nkazimulo, when you listen to the intro, you've been through quite a lot lately. It's been an incredible ride, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, man. That day I was running in the morning, doing my cardio, and then I had a bad luck day, and I got hit by a car. So, yeah, luckily I had no long-term damage, and thanks to God that I'm still alive. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep going.
So what actually happened then? Were you running in the road or on the pavement? What happened?
I was actually waiting to cross a traffic light, and then I didn't see this car coming, and then I just had a hooter, and then boom, there it goes. But
it was a green light for you, it was a red light for them.
As far as I remember, it was a green light for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were rushed to hospital, and what was the injury?
Oh, I couldn't feel my right side at that moment. I couldn't stand up, and then I had to lie down there until the first aid guy comes in, and then they took me to the hospital as soon as possible.
I want to chat about the ways in which you've developed as a mixed martial artist, but we can't do that unless we talk about The Ultimate Fighter and your training with Henry Cejudo. How did you get selected for the show to begin with?
Well, for The Ultimate Fighter, I must also thank God for that. I was lucky and I was so honored to be part of The Ultimate Fighter in the United States, and I'm so proud of myself to be the first South African or African to participate on The Ultimate Fighter for the UFC. It was like a dream come true for me, because I remember when I got that phone call, I was like, I didn't believe it. I thought maybe, because they said they want to interview me, so I couldn't get to that interview, so they just selected me because they really, really liked me so much. So yeah, I'm so proud to represent Africa.
Yeah, and you represent South Africa very, very well. I mean, the way you behaved, the way you conducted yourself, you're a professional gentleman the whole time. One of the things that a lot of former contestants on the show talk about is say how weird it is when you're in that house and you're in a bubble, you got no mobile phones, you're removed, and you're coming from a rather different culture, going all the way to Vegas with all these crazy guys locked up in this house. How weird was it for you?
I don't know, I never been arrested, but it felt like you're in a prison. Yeah, because we had no TV, we had no cell phones, you're not allowed to call anyone during that time, you're not allowed to walk in the street, you're just inside the house, and then they take you, you go to the tough gym, to the studio and all that, so yeah. But the funny thing there, you had all bunches of alcohol and all type of food you want in the house. Yeah. So yeah, obviously they wanted you to drink so that you get drunk and then you act stupid.
And you did you have a bit of Uchwala?
No, I don't drink at all. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I'm just a professional fighter.
So what was it strange? Was it? I mean, how did you cope? Was it difficult? Were you missing home, or did you feel,
Yeah, at that moment you miss home so much, man, because you can only look at the pictures that you kept, because you don't even have a cell phone there. And the funny thing, because what they did there, they took all the champions around the world, Japan, Australia, Canadians, all of them, they put us in one house. And then we stayed together there. And the other thing, we speak different languages. So sometimes you couldn't understand the other guy what he's trying to say. I remember the other guy from Japan, he couldn't speak a word of English. No. If you try to communicate with him, you either or must use body language to communicate with the guy. But the nice part of it, we were all fighters, MMA fighters. We all understand one language of fighting. We all understand what triangle is, that kind of stuff, armbars, how to move, and all this stuff about fighting.
That sounds like a fantastic experience. And talking about that Japanese guy, he was the guy you fought in the very first round, and you got knocked out in that first round of the actual show, but you stayed in the series. But that particular Japanese guy who beat you, he went on to the final right at the end, didn't he? Do you think that if you'd been matched up against some of the other different guys, you would have gone further in the show?
Yeah, I think so. If I have matched with a different guy, because as the show goes on, you can see, I can really actually beat all of these guys. I just had one mistake with that guy. Actually, he didn't knock me out. So
I mean, he knocked you out of the actual. He submitted you.
Yeah, he submitted me on the second round. Yeah. I actually knocked him down twice, first round and the second round. And it's when he realized that he has to take me down. He just switched to his wrestling and then took me down. And then he's got a very good wrestler. The guy has been wrestling for like 15 years and he's a black belt jiu-jitsu, so was a very good guy. And he fought his way up to the final, and then he lost to the guy that won the competition.
Yeah, so everyone said your striking was incredible. I mean, everyone said your striking was
everyone there, guys from Brazil, guys from Canada and Mexico, everyone, like, there's no one is close to my stand-up. When it comes to my stand-up, even Dana White even said, I'm like Anderson Silva. He called me the young spider.
Wow, that's crazy.
That was a big compliment for me.
Yeah. So what happened after the show? Did you stay in the States? Am I correct in thinking you went with Henry and trained up at his base?
Yeah, what happened there, Henry saw me in the show, and then he was like so amazed about my stand-up, and then he said, hey man, you need wrestling. If you wanna come stay with us here, I have a house for you, Zulu. You can come stay with us. We can help you with the wrestling. I was like, okay, that's cool. That's the only thing that I need. And the guy is a gold medalist, and his wrestling is phenomenal. So I had to stay with him and then train there for about 6 months.
Yeah, at one point I think he was the youngest American wrestler to win Olympic gold. I mean, was
he's the first one.
Or 23.
Someone else has break his record now.
So what was it like training with him, and how long were you there for?
I remember we moved down to California in Dublin, and then we stayed there about 3 months training, and I was in Arizona. I was there for about 2 months, and then I was in Las Vegas. So I get this chance to experience different places in America with Henry. Yeah, I just feel like my wrestling has improved, like from from 40% to 90%, I would say.
Wow.
So I was even so excited to fight JP Payas, because he thinks he's a good wrestler, and he doesn't even know what's coming.
So I was expecting you to stay out in the States and possibly fight on the undercard of the finale. Was that ever a possibility? Was a UFC contract ever something that you were talking to them about?
Yes, even UFC was very happy for me to be in the States for a while, because they promised me that I might be on the finale. So I must, couple of guys, they were promised that they're gonna be in the finale, but that wasn't, kind of like a proper promise or only contract signed down, something like that. But they say we must stay ready all the times.
So you're still in contact with them. There may be something that happened in the future. Is that something you still want to aim for, a UFC contract?
Yes, I'm looking forward to. UFC has promised me that I must keep active with EFC. It's fine, but I must stay ready. They might call me anytime.
What was it like coming back to South Africa after such an incredible experience?
So I remember when I got there in the States, so the guy did come to pick me up in the airport, and I just go to the left-hand side as a passenger. And when I got there, no, this is driver's side, because the air cars, they left-hand drive. Yeah. So I was driving Henry's car. Henry Segulo's car. We're going to the gym back and forth, and when I got here and I got into my car, I just go to the wrong lane. Oh, no. Yeah, it was funny.
Henry let you drive his car?
Yes.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you have to quit your job, because you were a mechanic, weren't you, at Volkswagen? What's going on now in terms of employment?
I worked with I work for Volkswagen. I was doing my apprenticeship there for about 3 years. I stopped working there because my contract got terminated, and got employed by Bosch. Okay. And I worked for them for, I can't remember, I think for 2 years. Okay. So I had to quit there to be able to go to the States.
And now how are you supporting yourself? Is it just purely in terms of being a professional fighter?
I just decided that I want to do fighting, be a professional fighter, and I want to make it my permanent job. So that's why I'm working on my sponsors now, trying to get more sponsors. I know we start to get sponsors here in South Africa, but I'm trying my best to get sponsors so I can able to keep going.
Yeah, so do you think that being with the UFC has raised your profile here in South Africa, so that getting sponsors is an easier thing now than before?
Yeah, it's amazing. In the States, the support from the people is huge. If you walk in the street, you're like a superstar. I know a lot of people think we violent, we crazy guys, we're the coolest guys in the world. Yeah. And we're just doing what we love, and then we just need people, more and more people in the world, in South Africa, Africa, everywhere, just support the sport, since it's the fastest growing sport in the world, and that's good news for us.
I completely agree with you. Nkazimulo Zulu, thank you so much for coming in today. Ngiyabonga kakhulu ukuza kwakho namhlanje.
Ayikubonga mina.
Well, that's your lot for this week's episode of The Clinch. Don't forget you can get hold of us through all the usual social media accounts. If there's anything whatsoever that you want to share or you want to see, please get hold of us. Join me next week for more insight, features and interviews. Thanks for watching. Be good.